the first Plan Advisory Committee A of the period after the break. We've mentioned recording, filming and broadcasting. Everybody's aware of the planning function that's present. Right, apologies for absence, please.
Yes, there's two apologies for absence. There's Councillor Pip Martin and Councillor Harry Gillam.
Thank you. And we know that we've got...
and Councillor Mrs. Limper is standing in for Councillor Gillam, I would assume. Okay. Yeah.
Take it. Right, any declarations of interest?
No.
Right, minutes of the meeting of the Planning Advisory Committee held on the 17th of July 2018. Any factual errors?
I wasn't here.
You're the only one who's here, Chris.
Fine, okay, thank you very much. I found the reading okay, so we'll I'll perhaps put it to a vote. Can we go for passing the minutes, please?
Well, no, because
We can't.
We can. That's all going to move one. No, we won't go then.
Okay.
Thank you. Well, otherwise it doesn't pass.
Until the next time. Yeah, I've got you.
And then we've got problems presenting it for the meeting.
Could you sign this?
Fine, I will do. Thank you. For a pen. Oh, right, okay, I will swap again now, sorry, was that? I'll put that one back then, sorry, I thought you wanted to make something. Do we do that much?
Well, we do 3 lists, don't we now?
We do, that's true. Ah, yes, that does make a difference.
$28.
Thank you. I want to double check it.
Okay.
Alan just written it. Check. Perhaps when we get it on the final repeat. Thank you very much. Very fine.
Thank you.
Can I go for pencil? One person forgets a pen, what happens?
No, I was lazy on that.
Okay, fine, I think I've got as far as that's it. Minutes we've done. Public questions in accordance with Standing Order 22 and 23?
No, none of them.
Thank you. Any letters of objection, please?
No. No letters have been received.
Right, thank you. Okay, we'll move on to applications registered to weeks ending 3rd of August, 24th of August, 10th of August, 31st of August, 17th of August, and 7th of September. Page 13.
Would you be able to just sign in here and I'll put it
So,
here?
Can I go one way again?
Sorry.
8 colours on it.
Thank you. Right, okay, so considering we only have one interested party, we shall move straight to the application relating to 22 to 24, I believe, Rose Road.
Okay, fine. So we're on planning application 5/18/2000, Harpenden South, outline an application of access layout and scale sort for demolition of the existing construction of 3 blocks creating 39 dwellings with associated underground and surface level parking, amenity space and associated works at 22 to 24 Grove Road, Harpenden. pyjamas phase. Right. Okay.
Okay, Mr. Marjosin, if you'd like to come up and take a seat and present to your 3 minutes. Okay, so these drawings here marked with the 2000 on the top are the new drawings, and I do actually have copies of the previous application drawings should they need to be referred to.
So,
Okay, when you're ready.
So, just to recap very briefly, we're looking at the site as a development for residential and a relocation of the current occupier Pan Autos to Cold Harbour Lane, where again we have a planning application in process being determined. So the idea is to maintain local jobs, maintain the a very well respected local business within the area. The application which you see before you now is a very much of a reduced scheme, certainly from where we've started, and this is through dialogue with St Albans. Ideally we would have wanted to have substituted these plans to the current application which is running. Unfortunately they felt that the plans vary too significantly to do so, and therefore they sort of requested us to effectively submit a new application. We're keeping the other application going until such time as it is determined to iron out any last issues, and all the technical responses have now come back with no objections, and the only major outstanding point relates to the question of viability and how many affordable housing units we will provide. So we're waiting for the valuers to conclude their discussions, and they will come up with a number which we will accept in terms of what we'll provide. So this application has now been submitted. As I said, it's very much more reduced, although the numbers have reduced from 43 to 39, so there's an over reduction in 4. The other major changes relate to the footprint and also the massing of the buildings, both of which have been reduced quite considerably. Discussions with St Albans would give us the indication that they are much more comfortable with this style and with this size of development. Any other further questions, and please let me know.
Right, thank you very much. Right, we will kick off on this one, please.
Well, I did work my way through 43 or 44 pages this afternoon.
Right.
So I've had a good look at it. I appreciate we're talking about outline planning commission. So things, I was slightly concerned that, yes, you addressed the distances for the 27 metres and the 13.5. But in it, there was a slightly fudgy comment along the lines of, well, this will be picked out further when we've got more detailed planning. So I'm kind of thinking, well, it would have been useful to have had it definitive at this stage. I know, so outline planning commission, yes, I can see that, but it would have been useful to have got a better idea of just how you're going to address those issues, because you made a big point, not you personally, but whoever wrote the report, that other applications have been allowed at a much lower density, for example, in 20 metres for the first bedroom, 20 square metres, 10 for additional bedrooms. There were just a few things in the application that I thought didn't really address everything that I would have liked.
No, and unfortunately that's the nature of the outline application. Funnily enough, in our previous applications we have tried to address those. What we suddenly found is that we got caught between two stools. So the fact is that by providing a certain amount of detail, we ended up going down a particular blind alley because we couldn't cover those details within the outline application.
Okay.
So what we've actually had to do here is very much reduce the amount of information which we have provided, so that we don't actually get caught up on our own, hung by our own petard,
Got you.
and actually then referring back to the reserved matters applications, which will then deal with how the units are actually fitted out to actually ensure that in terms of overlooking and privacy and everything else that they're covered there.
Okay. And am I right in thinking that the changed roof line, I read about the gable, so actually you're going to put some flats within the roof line?
What we actually have is effectively two elements. We've got one of the concerns which was raised by St Albans with the current application was that the Block A, which is the block along Grove Road, was continuous in terms of its height, and they actually felt that, particularly with the proximity to Grove Road, was a bit too, for want of a better word, blocky. What we then sort of had lots of discussions with St Albans was actually working more with the theme of the other property in Southdown, which is McCartan Stone.
Oh yes.
And again, sort of where you have a far more articulated building, so that even though it is quite dense and quite tall, from the appearance it reduces it. So that was the reason on Block A, which is why you effectively got two parts which are 3-storey and then one part which is 2-storey.
Yeah.
So that was to actually sort of trying to create that type of design. The building at the back was always then meant to be, Block B was always, and so it was always meant to be subservient. So Block B in itself is part 2-storey and part we would call 2.5-storey. So again, it's all meant to be much smaller than the front building, so you don't get from the street scene of visual appearance that you've just got one continuous development. It's meant to be, yes, you can see it, but it's a bit further back, and it's articulated. So that's the theory behind it.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Mike, have you anything to add?
Well, can we come in on probably one of the biggest points probably on single parking? First of all, how many parking places are there?
In total, we have 44 car parking spaces.
44. That is on the principle of...
I think is it 39 regular spaces and 39 and then 5 for the visitors. Yeah,
Correct.
5 visitors and 39 regular parking spaces.
Well, it's not just necessarily personal views, but I have the views that I hear are quite frankly, that's not quite enough. I don't know how, if my own view, I like the whole idea, the concept. I think it's an improvement to the road. I like the whole thing is a great idea, and I'm in favour of the thing, and it's okay, and you outline it, and the basic principles of things. But I hear, and it's been hammered away at me from all sorts of residents, groups, people, that is not, those 5 places wouldn't be enough. And so I put to you, is there any chance?
I think, Mike, probably what we need to do is not actually put the questions direct. It was good to have information.
Oh yes, sorry,
So
it's firstly because it's been parking bigger.
So effectively questions to the chair rather than the other way about.
I'm turning my head round this way now,
Yeah.
and so I hear all the time, and I'm going to be criticised if I, as a councillor, if I find that we're accepting one figure below what a lot of people are thinking. The thinking at the moment is what is the percentage, whether it should be 1.5 per house, per apartment. And on that basis you average out. Some people might not have a car, some people will have 2 cars. And there will be people who have 2 cars. That means there's always, but it's the visitors coming in. This is with 40 places or 39. There's going to be doctors and people, visitors, and others will come in. I'm a bit sceptical about the amount of that figure 5.
Okay. Well, I think it might be useful if we just run through the comments from the last meeting and basically decide whether we addressed, whether the new application has addressed those or not, and how we feel by that one,
Yes,
if you're okay with that one.
yes.
Right, the committee supports the change of use to this site to C3 dwellings, but welcomes the proposal that this valued local business is working with the developer to relocate the site
Can I
itself.
just draw that it's not the last application, that's
Ah.
the application before
Yes.
that.
Sorry,
Yeah.
okay,
So
fine.
we have,
Where did we go with the last one
So
then?
this one is in here.
Yeah, sorry, my apologies, I know I thought I'd done it,
Yeah,
I'm
no,
working
that's
on
okay.
myself.
So this is the one
Yeah,
that's still
okay.
pending at
Yeah,
the moment,
okay.
is actually...
Did we make comment on that?
Yes, just
Yes,
here.
it's
The committee
just three
statement
lines.
Lady was pleased with the
It's
new
2 lines.
application. The concerns were still expressed with regard to insufficient on-site parking. Provision is outlined, as outlined in policies 39, 69 and 70 of the District Plan for FADC pending. So where are we on that one? So 39 is, can you remind me?
Yeah, 39 relates to parking provision, basically.
Okay. So then am I guessing from what you two have said so far that parking is still a concern?
It is a concern, but basically, I looked at those 3 lines that you've just read out, and I just said, basically, we were okay with the overall project, but then, and really, one has to say, has that changed in any, that changed in any way?
Right, so I mean, I'm still looking at the previous ones. We've got the whole gambit there of how we felt over the period. And it's a case of working down and saying, yes, we've done it, no, we haven't. As I see it, subject to other people's approval. Right, 69 is?
69 is general design.
Yeah. So, and can I just clarify, are we talking 3 plus some in the roof, are we?
Yeah, so we've got obviously the 3 different blocks. I mean, it's very tricky at this stage because
Yeah,
it's
it's
an outline
outlined, yeah,
application.
I understand
This
that.
is sort of very much, very lacks detail, doesn't it, really,
Yeah,
in
it's
terms
very
of materials.
generic.
It's very generic, yeah, really. It's a generic sort of idea of the scale and sort of the form that it's going to take. Assume once the outline and permission is granted, a full application will come back with all the final material details and the...
Yeah, thank you. Right, and then we just go to 70.
70 is going into slightly more detail about the design and layout of new housing. It covers things like landscaping, privacy, orientation and amenity space.
So, are we okay with amenity space?
I'm surprised, this area that's the shared garden, that looks extremely small to me. There's not really that much, certainly on this edge for block C, there's not much there, is there?
And that's the bit that's going towards the pond and then just above the pond.
Above the pond and unfortunately with the recycling
Yep.
right behind it.
Personally, I'm not too worried about that, but it's
Because they take into consideration recreation and amenity space in the local area. So it's where South Down has to offer in terms of play space and open space.
in practice, I can see a lot of people using those spaces. I don't think it happens.
Is that what's coming on the site or in South Down?
No, they're using the shed.
Yeah.
The shed, that's why I don't think it's a big issue.
I'll say that I always am concerned about the amount of amenity space around things, but in all practicality, having been a flat dweller and knowing plenty of others, they rarely use the amenity space around. But it is just to give it that sort of green lung bit and a sense of civilisation and looking good. So we don't have a particular, or do we?
I've mentioned it. I'm happy with that.
We've mentioned, do you want it recorded, give a final word?
I know it was something that was raised, am I right in saying that one of the previous sort of, pre-application meetings by St Albans that they raised a question about amenity space?
Yes, I think certainly in terms of this particular application, there wasn't any particular concern raised.
Along the way though it's been discussed.
Indeed we have. I mean, one of the suggestions which we had was dependent upon the balance in terms of the balance between car parking and amenity space. So what we said is, look, as you rightly said, amenity space for this type of development doesn't tend to get particularly used. People look at it but they don't tend to use it, particularly when there's other parks and everything else. So we said, look, if your stresses isn't there in terms of the car parking, we can probably provide more car parking but less amenity space. But St Albans were very keen to say that they were generally happy. They wanted a higher amount of amenity space. The feedback which we've had to date in terms of all the consultants and the feedback on the highway on the parking is that it's not been raised at all by as any issues, which to a certain extent has, if you like, pointed us in a certain direction.
Right.
As I said, the person there's a problem with that.
Do you believe that the wording should have comment about amenity space in it?
I'd be happy to hear your opinion.
Okay, fine. I'll go for that in a minute. I'll
Mm.
just go one further one, unless the committee noted that and this is in the previous one, have we addressed in the whole thing the bit about design and safety? Do we know that? Have we got a
We
report
do,
there?
that was on the report.
What's that on?
So the police did send in a report and he was pretty much saying that nothing had been really addressed.
Okay.
So words like secure and safety were
Yeah.
used, but they weren't demonstrated how they were going to make them secure
Right, okay.
from experience.
So we're going to try and word this one sort of in a fair and equitable manner. Is that effectively we were looking at the fact that we continue to welcome development at the site.
Mm-hmm.
We expressed some quite serious concerns over car parking.
Mm-hmm.
Always an issue here, and always will be.
Mm-hmm.
And we recognise that, but again, we need to push as four spaces for visitors. Just the math doesn't go, and then you then go, where do they go?
Mm.
A bit of a difficult one, so I think we've got to push that one from that point of view.
Yeah.
Were we happy with materials? Have they changed?
Well,
We were at outline again, so no,
yeah,
sorry,
the
I'm beg your
materials
pardon.
details.
We were at outline. I'm getting confused between the two, as ever. And so we're on outline. I think we'd like to see. Do you have any formal words that you'd like to use with regards to amenity? Because I am concerned about amenity space, although I don't find it as an absolute ground for complete and utter refusal.
Yeah, accepted. So not the last application, the previous one before that.
Yeah.
The committee noted the contribution to the available amenity provision accounted for by balconies and considered the total space as 4 in relation to recommended amenity provision in policy 17.
So again, are we happy to express concern with regards to amenity space?
Personally, I would.
Okay.
Mike?
Well, I feel slow, but I was happy without it, but I'll go for it.
So I'll put in both camps on that.
Mm.
I did what I said before, and then obviously we'd like to draw attention to the police report with regard to design and features of which are conducive to
Crime prevention.
crime prevention.
Okay.
And
So-
do you mind the last point again of not the last one, previous one?
Mm-hmm.
The committee welcomed the expectation of on-site affordable housing provision at 35%. Sounds to me like we might not get 35%. So I expect St Albans District Council to robustly negotiate the delivery
Okay.
of unacceptable percentage.
Yeah. Fully understand. Yeah. And I'm going to go to that. This is the problem. The other problem we've got the parking and we've got the social housing. Just two problems we have to live with, and we've got to play the balances and the scales. But if we draw, because that's all we're here to do, is to draw the attention of these points to the district council, and they are the arbitrary authority that makes the decision at the end of the day.
Okay, so
Anything else?
I think I've picked up pretty much. We're really sort of focusing on 4 areas. So very similar to working that we had last time in relation to the parking provision, but also the inclusion of the mentioning about the crime prevention, the amenity provision, and also the affordable housing. So what I'll do is I will use the wording that we had 2 applications ago, in relation to fit
Yeah.
in with this application that's been submitted.
I think that probably there's a caveat to that one, again, if the other two are amenable to it, is that given that this is outline planning permission, we would still like to see X, Y and Z addressed, or does that soften things too much for you?
No.
Fine.
No, I mean,
Go for that.
it was an outline application
Yeah.
that we presented this wording for last time, so,
Yeah, okay, fine.
you know, we
Thank
want
you.
to come up again.
Right, thank you very much for your time.
Fine. Can I just make one comment relating to the car parking? And I don't expect it to be minuted or be
No.
changed.
It's on tape though, be aware.
I do understand that, no doubt. One of the other thought processes which we have been exploring, but hasn't, of course, any traction from St Albans, and that relates to the creation of a car club. So we have approached a number of operators who potentially would see it as a viable opportunity. With car club in this location, my personal belief would work particularly well.
Heard that one before. We'll see where we're taken on that one.
If no one asks, I can't do anything. That's
Absolutely, I'm with you. Yeah.
that's the issue.
Okay. Interesting.
Very good.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Nice to see you.
Okay,
Fine.
you too.
Did I allow us to take that then? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi, could I have yours with the drawings in front of me?
Of course, yeah.
Thank you.
No, because we started
No.
Oh, right, okay, fine.
I forgot
Hmm? We forgot about a question.
asking questions.
Well, we shouldn't have done really, but
No.
I'm
I forgot.
I'm relatively easy with it in as much as it was outlined, and there's no bold objections from the public.
To be honest, I don't see any issue in us asking questions because it helps to inform our response to the audience. And by
Yeah.
asking the questions, it prevents us from appearing foolish. Sometimes, if we make an assumption and find that actually it's not right.
I totally agree with that one as well, and I think it becomes a difficult issue when you've got objectors, and you've got to then give the same amount of time to both sides, and that's where the other half of this committee has had problems in time. But we won't go any further on that one, we'll press on with the agenda, otherwise I'll get my wrist slapped.
Right, okay, so back to the beginning now.
Right, okay, fine. So I should just mention the applications by number, and then if and recommendation. Then if you have anything you want to come in differently, indicate, and I'll take the discussion. Right, okay. First one is on page 13, top 5181809. This application does not meet the criteria for consideration by the committee.
Councillor Carrigan, could I ask you to just ask to say the address?
Sorry.
Okay, the number and just
Sorry,
the address
beg your
name.
pardon, yeah.
That would be
6
brilliant.
Saunts,
Thank
yeah.
you. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, you can do that. No, right.
Okay.
Skip that bit. Thank you. Right, okay. Second one is 5181901, 18 Maryland Avenue. No objection, subject to no loss of amenity to neighbouring properties. Policy 72.5 of the district plan refers. Any comments on that one?
No.
Right. 5181882, 21 Harpenden Rise. This application does not meet the criteria for consideration by the committee. 5181893, 4 Iris Close. This application does not meet the criteria for consideration by the committee. 14. 5181902, 72 Eastmore Park. No objection, subject to no loss of amenity to neighbouring properties. Policy 72.5 of the district plan refers. 5181490, 30 Southdown Road. No objection, subject to the appropriate design and use of materials in the conservation area. Policy 85.1c of the district plan refers. Anything, Mike?
No.
Right, thank you. 5181700, 7 Rowan Way. Recommendation, no objection. Thank you. 5181715, 26 Station Road, change of use from Class A1 retail to mixed use Class A1 retail and Class A3 restaurant and cafe.
No.
No, so that was the previous application.
Yeah.
This one, we're actually looking at the advertisement consent for that change
Oh,
of use.
sorry.
Okay, so
I
there,
wasn't, for some reason I expect the bit we're on at the top of being the history ungroup, but never mind, it's me.
but yeah, this is a very
yeah.
simple, single
Sorry.
letter,
Sorry,
Sorry, no objection subject to
No,
the policy,
Yeah.
to the district plans, and as you say that, it's non-illuminated sign, so we're okay on that one. Just for the fact that we hope they get the reminder about the colour policy.
it's a single M.
Is that all it is? Oh, is this is the new, right, I'm with it.
I think it's
Next door to what was Dolph Trust.
It used to be Wallens.
That's the one, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Right, 5181880, Salvation Army, does not meet criteria for consideration by the committee. 5181910, application does not meet criteria for consideration by the committee.
Can I just query that one, because it is an external...
130 Southdown Road, I think.
It is, but it's not in the conservation area, so we don't look at applications that are not in the conservation area for advertisement.
Thank you.
Can you just clarify one thing on that one?
Yes.
That do we have a different policy on internally lit ones that aren't in the conservation area?
Not so much, no.
So would we approve one outside of the conservation area that's internally lit? I thought we had a blanket policy right across town.
It's different in the district plan. For it's
Right, okay.
yeah. So policy 90
Yeah.
in the district plan relates solely for signage within the conservation area.
Right, okay.
So shop fronts and advertisements in the conservation area and on listed buildings. So it's
Right,
totally
brilliant.
different
Thank you.
to that than you would have outside. So Tesco's, for instance, down at Rothbury Lane, Boston Park
Thank
Lane.
you.
One was facetiously saying there are other supermarkets.
There are, yes, but the one in the town centre would be subject to policy 90.
Absolutely, certainly would. Thank you.
Okay.
Right, 5181832, 32 Porters Hill. The application does not meet the criteria for consideration by the committee. It's getting boring. 5181936, 125 Crabtree Lane. This is bottom of page 15 going over to 16. No objection subject to no loss of amenity to neighbouring properties. Policy 72.5 plan refers. Okay on that one. 5181669, 1478 Westfield Road. Recommend refusal. Sorry, this is a two-storey rear extension. Recommend refusal. The proposed extension will diminish the available amenity space so dramatically that it no longer fulfills the requirement of policy 72.7 of the district plan. The parking provision for a 4-bedroom house is also insufficient. Policies 40 and 72.4 of the district plan refer. Are we all in agreement with that one?
Total agreement, yeah. I looked at this one.
I know, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that one. We don't, I believe that's robust enough, and nobody else has got anything, we'll carry on.
No.
5181913, no, 215 Luton Road. No objection subject to no loss of amenity to neighbouring properties. Policy 72.5 district plan refers. 5181947, 1 Kingsbourne Close. No comment required by committee. 5181984, 52 Park Mount. Application does not meet criteria. 5181732, 23 The Deerings. No objection subject to no detrimental impact on the neighbouring properties. Policy 17.6 the district plan refers.
Sorry, can I just ask Heather, what's the difference between 72.5 and 76? 17.
Okay, so again, so the difference
I
between...
don't have this thing.
No, that's okay. So the difference between 72.5...
Yeah, 72.5.
Okay, yes, so 72.5 would relate to extensions, 72 is for extensions, and 70 relates to new builds.
All right, oh, thank you.
Yes.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for your clarification. I bulked slightly at 6 and thought, is that a typo? And I thought, no, I remember, but I can't remember what it is exactly.
Yes, because
Thank
this is for demolition and
Yeah.
new build.
Yeah, absolutely. 518-1964, 71 Laycroft Way. Application does not meet the criteria. 518-1973 for the Warren Harpenden, so that isn't Harpenden bit. No objection subject to no detrimental impact on the neighbouring properties. Policy 72.5 the district plan refers.
Again, one.
518-1701, 7 Rowan Way. No objection. This is through vehicle windows. 518-1717, Victoria Works, Amenbury Lane.
Can I just check that that's not
Yeah.
in the conservation?
It is in the conservation. Yes, it is. It's at the bottom of Amenbury Lane, so it's flat bang in the middle of the conservation area.
Right,
Yeah.
so could they just do it externally illuminated?
Yes, but the thing with the externally illuminated is that it's actually they're using the existing illumination from Strada, so they are externally illuminated in terms of it's the internally illuminated we don't like, where you've got like a kind of a box affair where the illumination is lit from behind and it sort of glows out.
Yeah.
They're the ones we don't like, whereas the external illumination in this particular location has actually got those sort of kind of single spotlights that come out on
Right.
kind of like stalks, I suppose.
Yes.
really.
Yes,
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
But
Alright,
we-
yeah.
We haven't seen it.
That also precludes the flashing neon ones as well, the internally lit.
Yeah.
Right,
Sorry,
sorry,
it's me again.
we're okay.
Can you explain what a film manifestation is? One film manifestation, front window.
Right, okay. Film manifestation, that is it's, I'm trying to think who else has got it in town. I think Sainsbury's had it where it was like big oranges or big apples
Oh,
on a
yes,
film sort of that stuck to the glass.
No,
So I think this is a massive squid of some sort, yeah, because of it's called the giggly squid. This company, so it's going to be like a kind of a big sticker, I suppose, is the easiest way to describe it.
It's quite large, and does it not have a little bit of sea lapping it, if I remember
It
right?
could do, yeah.
I've seen a giggling squid elsewhere. They're reasonably tasteful.
Yes, I mean the good
They're
thing
not
is
overly
that they're
gaudy.
using the existing illumination. See, a giggling squid, there we go. So actually, it's not the big squid, it's this here. This is the, kind of, yeah, it's a big sticker, basically.
Yes.
Yes, the giggling squid.
We'll try it.
That's great.
I'll try not to giggle when I go in. Right, when did I get to? I'd like to giggle and squid.
1753.
17.
37 Highfield Avenue.
Thank you. Right, 518-1753, 37 Highfield Avenue. No objection subject to no loss of amenity to neighbouring properties. Policy 72, little 5, the district plan refers.
Okay.
518-1870, 16 Longcroft Avenue. No comment required by the committee. 518-1956, 5 Avenue St Nicholas. No comment required by committee. 518-1774, 106 Lower Luton Road. No objection, and that's a part single, part 2-storey rear extension, ground floor side window. Okay with that one? Thank you. 518-1976, High Beaches Primary School. No comment required by the committee. 518-2062, 6 the Cleve. No objection, and this is a single-storey side and rear extension, including the conversion of the carport.
Can I query what parking provision there is on the
Yes, so the details in the design access statement is that there is parking for 3 cars. Changes to the design and roof form is in keeping, if not an improvement, no impact on the neighbours.
That was it.
5181896, 1 Millie Close. Is that Miley Close? Whichever.
Miley, yeah.
Miley,
Yes,
thank you.
Miley.
No, only one L, not two. No objection. Part first floor, part 2 story side from the rear extent. 5182085, 6 Park Hill. Recommendation, no objection, provided no loss of amenities in neighbouring properties and subject to an appropriate design and use of materials on this locally listed building cited in the Harpenden Conservation Area. Policies 72, little 5, 85 and 87 district plan referred. Okay, well. 5110353. Oh,
What's that?
who's the address?
So it says again. So you're reading a history of something else, I'm sorry.
Beg your pardon, it's the
Yeah.
tail end of the last one, page 17 gone over.
Right, so we're
I
on
need to mark those when I do it, that it's not.
1770.
518, there's just going to got a number on it. It's quite a big number. 5181753.
No,
No,
so we're over on to this.
1770.
1770 is the next one.
Oh,
Page 20.
Another page 18. Sorry.
Thank you.
Here we go.
Would you like to check?
No.
If anybody's watching, excuse me. Excuse me, I'm going to take a break and drink the water. Right, 5181770, I thought we were doing that now. 69 Grove Road. No objection.
No objection.
5182000 we've considered.
We have done.
Five 182047, 77 Broadstone Road, no comment required by the committee. 5182056, 17 Arran Close, no comment required by the committee. 5182068, Harpenden Common Golf Club, recommend, she says, construction of swing studio, whatever a swing studio. No objection, subject to the appropriate design and use of materials in the conservation area. Policy 85, little 1, little c, district plan refers in compliance with policy 96 of the district plan. Right, so this is construction of swing studios.
What is a swing studio?
That's where you practice your golf swing.
It is. Yeah, I had to ask Carl actually. It's essentially a very small room which has got a lot of technology and things in there where it's got sensors so it will pick up on sort of your style of swing, where you can adjust your stance, your swing, your body position, and it will analyse and those sort of things. But the town council have spoken to the golf club about this. They spoke to us about having an extra building on the site, and we have no problem with happening.
Right, no problem.
We're aware of it.
So this is an additional room, is it?
It is. It's an extra. Well, when I say room, it's an extra building. It's an extra.
Well, so I'm going to be controversial in this one. I think that we've had sprawling development on the court come for a long time, and I think it's out of order, personally.
Would you like to look to see where the location of it is?
Yeah, I would certainly do.
I think it's in a.
Is it infill?
It is, really,
Right,
to
okay,
be
fine.
honest.
I'll withdraw that last
We've
comment.
got the changing rooms, and then the clubhouse, the cottages over here, and the putting green over here.
Yeah.
It's just here. It's between two existing hedges.
Right.
I don't think it's an overly large room. It
Wouldn't need to be.
no. So it's essentially just over 8 metres long by just over 5 metres wide. Basically. Flat roof, single story, little cabin, I suppose, really, it looks like, to be honest.
Oh, my comment is if it's all elsewhere rather than on location, at least would be objecting to it
Unlikely.
within the conservation.
Really, the dimensions of this is no different than having a garden room in somebody's back garden.
Thank you for that.
really.
It is a case of perspective. Thank you. Unless anybody else has got any more comments?
Well, you mentioned
I've mentioned the, oh, hang on, I'm thinking. So I have made reference to the policy that relates to green leisure development in the green belt, policy 96. Yeah, medium intensity leisure uses in the green belt, and they do mention golf courses in here. So, in instance, I said subject to compliance with policy 96, which is specifically for that, and 85 one.
And I'm glad you put appropriate design and use of materials.
Yeah.
Materials will be quite
Absolutely.
It is very important. For the one most important thing.
But my understanding is it's wood cladding. So it's one of the wooden huts.
Right, okay, so we're on top of page 22, is that correct?
Yes.
518-2072, Westminster Court, Grove Road, no comment required by the committee. 518-1755, 25 Vaughan Road, change of use of ground floor and cellar from social
Is
club
that the old Conservative
it's
Club?
the old Conservative Club, yes,
Mm.
which I believe that we have no interest in anymore. Politically, so I think we're okay on that one. Right, recommendation. The committee have no objection to the proposed change of use and proposed extension and alteration subject to appropriate design and use of materials on this locally listed building in the conservation area. Policies 85 and 87 district plan refers. However, concern is expressed that no additional parking provision is proposed on the site. Policies 40 and 72 level 4 of the district plan refers. I don't think we can go further than that, can we?
We have to make that comment, don't we?
It is the usual extreme concern that we're just squeezing the parking again, and that's at the pippy squeaky.
My wording for this is the proposal is similar to the last application, which was withdrawn, although offering one less flat, an improved outlook for the flats and the demolition of a single-storey element, which also creates community space, addresses the concerns raised by the SADC officer with people in the last application.
Brilliant, thank you. 518-1847, Unit 7C, Cent House, South Down Industrial Estate. No objection. That's changed.
Well, it is quite sort of discreetly hidden down on an industrial estate.
It's not in your face in the form of C&A property, so be pleased for that.
Yes, that's true. I wouldn't look at it.
Right, that's it. I mean, whether we object or not, we may on grounds, but certainly not on planning grounds.
To be honest, the thing is that, especially in this area, and I know it's recognised within the neighbourhood plan, that this is an area that we want to retain as a site that's used and not sort of laying dormant and so if it means that we have a tattoo parlour down there which has got set sort of office hours, as it were, then that's probably
very
okay.
Is there any comment about hours that we should make?
Just a change of use, sensible opening hours is what I've got on there. So I think it's normal. I think it's something like 10 in the morning until 5 or something. I don't know, and I'll tell you. I'll put it down. Oh, here we go. Patio studio, 10 till 6 Monday to Friday and 10 till 6 on Saturday. Okay.
Right. Thank you. 518-1953, St Nicholas Church, VA School. No comment required by the committee. 518-1995, 53 Top Street Way. No objection, subject to no adverse impact on neighbouring property, number 55 Top Street Way. Policy 72 level 5 of the district plan refers. 518-2022, 5 St Andrews Avenue, Harpenden. No objection, subject to the appropriate design and use of materials in this locally listed building in the conservation area. policies 85 and 87 of the district plan refer.
Can I just say I'm confused because it looks exactly the same, 2022 to 2028.
They are linked, yes. So this first one is for all of their proposed extensions and things to the house,
Yeah.
but 2028 also includes the proposal for new shared boundary wall to facilitate the application approved for number 2 St Andrews Avenue.
Right.
But essentially it's the same, but it's,
Yeah.
I think what it was that the occupiers or owners of 4 St Andrews Avenue didn't want to jeopardise their own application if the wall element was refused. So
Okay.
they submitted 2 separate applications, so
Okay.
if they get them both then grand.
Thank you. Thank you.
So that brings us on to 5802028. Set up there, which is no objection to, it's still about
Same,
4
really.
St Andrews. No objection subject to the appropriate design and use of materials of the local listed buildings in the conservation area policy 85 and 87 district plan refer.
They're lovely, they've got beautiful character and...
Yes. No,
Will you bring in?
I was being a little envious. I was admiring their design and style.
Yeah.
Well done.
They are.
Right, 5182044 on Bowers Way. No comment required by committee. 5182050, in fact 0. 16 Highfield Avenue. No objection subject to no loss of amenity neighbouring properties, policy 72.5, the district plan refers. 5182051. 32 Overstone Road, no comment required by committee. 5182077, 17 Tennyson Road, Harpenden. No objection subject to no loss of amenity in neighbouring properties and the appropriate design and use of materials on this locally listed building in the conservation area. Policy 72.5, 85 and 87 district plan refer. I believe that was the last one.
Last application.
So we go back to the beginning of the agenda and see where we go now. Right, appeals of Appendix B, anything worthy of note?
Not really.
Prior notifications,
Still none.
list of weekly and August District Council decisions, Appendix C.
Note those.
Thank you. And then into the date of the next meeting, which is for
Fancy.
Plans B, on the 18th of September. And ours is? That's all right, don't worry. Would like to check my diary.
Yes,
6 weeks
6 weeks
today.
today.
Okay.
Here's one.
And it appears to be working as well.
It is, yeah, definitely. It's working in terms of an officer point of view, and I'm hoping that it works in terms of council's point of view, because it means that you only have to come once every 6 weeks. It's not the only meeting you have to attend. So.
That's not all purely around that, but anyway, do we record the meeting closed at 8:27? Thank you.
Okay.